The P.O.B.R.E on-the-go convenience business truck markets grocery and other commodity items that are sold in different bag sizes, small, medium, and large. In order to account for its break-even point, it has identified its fixed costs, variable costs, average revenues, and contribution margin as follows. The table displays the average amount spent by the P.O.B.R.E on-the-go convenience business truck on fixed costs during the year. As identified, the loan and interest would be accounted for at 48,000. Depreciation of the truck would cost 40,000. Permits would cost 11,000. Salaries would amount to 420,000, and the software program used would account for 120,000. The annual average of total fixed cost of 639,000 will be used to calculate the break-even point. This value will be subject to future revisions as we monitor the payments for fixed expenses each year and acquire more cost data and experience. Because P.O.B.R.E on-the-go convenience business truck sells a variety of products and uses many different price markups, it is appropriate to calculate the store's average annual cost. For this purpose, we categorize our sales mix into small, medium, and large bags of grocery items. This average will then be used to determine an average markup percentage on all products for the break-even calculation. P.O.B.R.E trucks expenditures for products during the year are as follows. As shown in your screen, the daily sales for the different bag sizes would be 20 for small, 10 medium bag sizes are sold per day, and 5 large bag sizes are sold per day. A total of daily bags sold of 35. For its annual units sold, we just multiplied it by 365. The small bag sizes or small bag units would be sold annually at 7,300 units sold. For medium, 3,650. For large, 1,825. A total of annual units sold of 12,775. As shown in your screen again, we have identified the average variable cost per unit. For small, it would cost 175. For medium, it would cost 245. And for large, it would cost 350. A total of 770. We multiplied it by its respective annual units sold. For small, 175 multiplied by 7,300 units sold, it would cost an average variable cost of 1,277,500. For medium, 245 multiplied by the 3,650 medium bag sizes annual sold, it would cost 894,250. For large, 350 multiplied by 1,825 units, it would cost 638,750. With this 3, it would total to 2,810,500. The annual average of total variable cost of 2,810,500 will be used to calculate the break-even point. This value will also be subject to future revisions as changes occurs in the product mix and as we become better informed about seasonal effects on sales of various products. A contribution margin is required to calculate a break-even point in sales dollar. Because P.O.B.R.E truck uses many different markups on its numerous products, an average markup and contribution margin ratio is appropriate for the break-even calculation. P.O.B.R.E truck's cash receipts from the annual sales revenue are shown in the table. The sales price per unit of small bag size would be $250. The sales price for medium bag size would be $350. And the sales price for the large bag size would be $500. A total of sales price of $1,100 for all the bag sizes. This sales price would then be multiplied by its respective annual units sold of bag sizes. So the 250 sales price for small bag size will be multiplied to the 7,300 annual units sold. It would arrive at an average annual sales of 1,825,000. For medium, it would arrive at 1,277,500, and for large it would arrive at 912,500, for a total of average annual sales for all the bag sizes 4,015,000, as shown in your screen. The formula for calculating the break-even point in dollars of sales is break-even point is equals to fixed cost divided by contribution margin ratio, whereas contribution margin ratio is equals to percentage markup on the selling price of the products. Applying the average monthly sales revenue and variable cost determined above, the contribution margin ratio for P.O.B.R.E on-the-go convenience business truck is calculated as contribution margin is equals to 1 minus the quotient of average variable cost divided by average sales revenue. Substituting all the values that we have computed, 1 minus the quotient of 2,810,500 divided by 4,015,000, it would result to a 0.30 or 30%. The interpretation of the contribution margin value is that, on average during the year, 70 cents of each sales peso were required to pay the cost of the sold products, and the remaining 30 cents, which represents the contribution margin, could be used to pay P.O.B.R.E trucks' fixed costs. If the break-even point sales level was achieved in a given month, the business made 30 cents profit on each additional pesos of sales. Applying the formula provided above, the annual break-even point for P.O.B.R.E truck is calculated as follows. As shown in your screen, the annual sales represent 100%. The variable expenses would account to 70%, which is the cost of the sold products, with a residual of 30%, which is our contribution margin. In order to account for how much would we pay for our fixed cost to be fully covered, we must solve for its break-even point in sales, which is computed as fixed cost divided by the contribution margin ratio. As follows: 639,000 fixed cost divided by the 30% contribution margin ratio, it would result to a 2,130,000 break-even point in sales. Furthermore, this is distributed to its corresponding sales composition for each product sold or bag sizes. For small, it would be a 45.45% of the 2,130,000, which results to a break-even point in sales of 968,182. For the medium bag sizes, the sales composition would be 31.82% of the 2,130,000, which result to a break-even point in medium sizes would be 677,727. For the large, which is the last bag size, it would constitute a 22.73% of the 2,130,000, which would result to a break-even point in sales of large bag sizes would be 484,091. We may now conclude that our business is profitable in any year that has sales receipts exceeding 2,130,000 pesos, specifically exceeding 968,182 for small bag sizes, 677,727,000 for medium bag sizes, and exceeding 484,091 for large bag sizes. That would be all.